I'm Kelly Carter, and this is Another Act. Michael Ealy, thank you so much for doing this again today. Welcome back to the show. And I want to go ahead and start here. The last time that we talked, you said of the film Fatale, this is grown folks doing grown folks business, having grown folks problems. Was that kind of a guiding light, or is that kind of a guiding light for the types of pictures and TV series that you select in your career at this point?
One, thanks for having me back. I really appreciate it. Thank you. For me, it's important to stay in your lane. And I find that, look, I'm grown now. I just have to kind of stay in that zone. I don't want to be that actor who's still trying to hold on to his early 20s and, doing projects. I think you have to evolve, which is why I think at this point I'm much more inclined, and I'm actually actively seeking out projects whereby I am playing a father, because I think, there's so much insight that I have with the two kids that I do have now and all the experiences I've gone through with them, that at this point, I just want to kind of bring back to every role if possible. It doesn't mean I won't play, somebody crazy or anything ever again. It just means, I just want to bring what I know a little bit and see what it's like to play in that family space for a while.
At what point did that evolution happen for you? Because you've been a father for a little bit now.
Great question. Yeah, my kids can't see anything I've done. They just can't. And that was the wake-up call. Like my son was like, "Dad, can I see Barbershop yet?" And I'm like, yeah, I think you might, he's 9 now. So I think you might be ready. Yeah. Wow. Have you been waiting a long time? He was like, yeah. I was like, okay, all right. And, my daughter has, no idea. The only thing my daughter has seen is I showed them both my skit on Black Lady Sketch Show. And my daughter was just like, "You're funny." And I was like, okay. So yeah, I'd love to do something that, that they can see and their friends can see, and otherwise I'm just kind of an actor in the past to a lot of extent.
And I would imagine that required a certain amount of discipline on your part to say no, and courage, and confidence. Where did that come from you?
Faith. It comes down to faith, because you're right. It does take, you could call it discipline or you could call it crazy. Like, it's a risk to turn down a check. Steve Harvey said it best: "I ain't turning down no checks." I get it. I fully get it. And look, he's doing really well because of that. So, to that extent, for him, it really worked. I think for me, it starts with two things. One is faith. I have faith that, I will be able to have longevity and maintain it if I stay the course. Two, I got into this business when it was a different business. And the spectrum that I saw in people's careers that inspired me to want to act. I've held on to this idea and this passion that I'm going to get my Mo Better Blues one day, right? Like, I'm going to get my Enemy of the State. And like, there, my Die Hard, like, there were all these movies that impacted me as an actor and made me think, I need this in my career. And so I never saw my career as some singularly focused, one note version. I thought, I want to do this because I get to play John McClane. I get to play Bleak Gilliam. I get to play Muhammad Ali. Like, whatever it is, like, I felt like I wanted to play all these different characters. And when it was all said and done, no one would be able to say that I did not stretch. I did not stretch, and I did not try to mix it up. And I think that passion for wanting to mix it up and to stretch yourself and be in this game and try different things is what enables me to keep going and say no, because I've done that and I'm not going to get anything out of it anymore. And that doesn't mean I haven't played certain characters twice. I've played a detective about 3 times. You know what I mean? I just have. So, but I think anybody who doesn't play a detective 3 times in their career is like Tom Hanks. I mean, you just got to be really lucky or something. Like you gotta have a Forrest Gump in there somewhere, because everybody seems to play a cop at some point in their career. Everybody. And if it works for Morgan Freeman, and, like Brad Pitt and, all these other actors of our generation. I mean, one of the greatest cop portrayals in the world was Al Pacino in Serpico. So this is the business that fed me. It is no longer that same business, but I'm still holding on to that. And I think that gives me the passion to keep going.
I love that. And I love that you said you always wanted to and still want to stretch, because I think the thing that I appreciate about your career, and I say this respectfully, is that you are, and I think you know this about yourself, an exceptionally good-looking human being. And I think sometimes that can be a handicap in this industry. I think that exceptionally good-looking men can tend to be put in a box, or maybe someone might not think that they can actually act their ass off. You can act your ass off. What has that journey been like for you?
Yeah. I think, look, from the time I was in 8th grade, I've been called pretty, and then I got older, became more, handsome. I just have never been able to rely on that. I think it's how I was raised. I wasn't raised to bank on that. I wasn't raised to believe that is going to give me longevity in this business. I believe from a very early age that I'm going to have to stretch. I'm going to have to play characters that are unlikable. And so I'm the guy who, when someone says it, and I saw this on the Twitter feed last night for Reasonable Doubt, someone said, I still haven't forgiven him from dropping them kids out the window. And they just don't understand that Ricky or Dom from, any one of my romantic leading guy characters, like, can go there. And what you have to do is separate the characters from the actor and understand, I'm not here to make you think I'm sexy. I'm not here to make you swoon over me. I'm not here for that. I really am not. Like, I genuinely want you to either like me, hate me, or be indifferent. But I hope at the end of the day that you respect the choice that I made. Because I think as an actor, you have to make choices. And if you don't, everything can get a little bit muddled. And it's like, well, what are you really going for here? And it feels like things fell short. No one has ever said, after watching For Color Girls, that I'm afraid to commit. And that, to me, is because I was inspired by the actors that came before me. When they committed to a role, that's where I get it from. And I see other actors out there who are known for being handsome, stretching, and nobody thinks it's a big deal. Like, no one ever tells Leonardo DiCaprio or Christian Bale, you're just too handsome. Like, why do you keep playing these haggard, fat, balding characters? And it's like, or even Johnny Depp at the time. No one says that to them. So I don't subscribe to it. And I pretty much, like I said, I've been running my own race, and I'm going to keep running my own race. But to answer your question in short, yes, it has been difficult. And I have been hampered. I've lost roles because, Some people think it's distracting. I don't know, but I I don't take it personally. I just got to keep pushing. That's the hustle in me. I just got to keep pushing.
Well, was there a particular role that you really think kind of helped steer people in a different direction with that regard?
Um, it's a good question. I would say, based on what people have told me, right? Because I don't think there was ever a calculated switch for me. Um, but I think for Colored Girls and The Perfect Guy were kind of turning points where people were like more enthralled by how bad I was than they were what I looked like. I think when you play romantic leads, people get caught up in that character and they think it's you, right? And so when they see you, they think, oh, yeah, and it's like, it takes time and longevity, to be honest with you, in this business, to kind of show people that you're more than that. It takes interviews, it takes interviews like this. It takes showing up for political candidates. It takes your life outside of the work to kind of show people. And I'm saying this not because I know it. I'm saying it more so because this is what people have told me. You know what I mean? Like, I've had people come up to me, all sorts of people come up to me all over the world and tell me how much they love the work, or how I represent Black people, or, how I hold down the brothers. Like, whatever it is, I get told these things by people, and that feeds me and lets me know I'm still on my path. I'm still on my grind, and I got to just continue to stay in my lane, and the people will recognize it for what it is. And that's just where it is for me.
Amen. I love hearing that. Thank you for sharing. Michael, before I let you go, what's out there that you haven't done yet?
Well, when I say that this business has changed, one of the things that has changed is I'm no longer waiting for that role to land across my desk. The opportunity that I'm waiting for is one that I'm working on. And it is now a business in which you make your own opportunities, you create your own content, and you produce your own stuff. And we have pioneers in this business who have led the way. I too am now much more hypersensitive to being that type of not just actor, but kind of force. I'm not gonna say brand, because I don't think it's a brand to do that kind of to like produce your own content. I don't think that makes you a brand. I think not the way I want to do it specifically. I think for me, my greatest work lies in, my passion for bringing this to the audience. I think that is what I haven't done. That's what's waiting for me, if you will, is for me to bring it the way that I see it, my perspective, and that's in the works for sure.
Man, I love hearing that, and I look forward to it. I always love talking to you, Michael. You always give me a really honest conversation, and you just do, and I really appreciate that about you.
Well, I appreciate you. You asked some of the most intriguing, thought-provoking questions, and I really genuinely want you to hear me when I say this, but I respect your work. I do. I respect your work, because not everybody does it this way. Not everybody does it this way. So I appreciate you. I respect you, and I'll see you again.
Thank you for coming back.
All right.